Today is a very special sessions. We are doing the special sessions over the past few days on glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं तत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् So today on the topic of glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam series, I am inspired to talk about how to navigate fear, anxieties by taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam and how that have inspired me in my personal life. I would like to talk on those subjects and how our Vaishnavas handle that, through their experience and how that pleases the spiritual masters and directly Krishna. So, the way saintly person act is known as sadachara. Sadachara is how they act. Okay. So, here Srila Prabhupada is telling about how Arjuna passed his Krishna consciousness test, and the test was conducted by Krishna himself. So, how Arjuna passed his Krishna consciousness test? So, Krishna said in the battlefield, kill Ashwatthama. So, when he got the instructions, kill Ashwatthama, the instruction is coming from Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Arjuna has taken shelter from Krishna in the battlefield. And he can very well execute the order of Krishna, but he was meditating on the instructions. And he was considering the cause and the effect of the instructions before executing it. It is very evident that Ashwatthama, who killed the sons of Draupadi and the Pandavas, the act was very heinous. But Arjuna carefully considered the effect of killing Ashwatthama and what would be the effect of killing Ashwatthama. Just like Draupadi is suffering the loss of her sons, and Draupadi and the Pandavas are in the loss of their sons being killed heinously by Ashwatthama, and that's not a right moral or the right principle according to the military science, but he was attacked and he was killed. So here Arjuna is considering Similar to Draupadi suffering, the mother of Ashwatthama would also suffer. And who mother of Ashwatthama is a widower of Dronacharya, his own guru. So he is considering all these factors and he hesitates to kill Ashwatthama. This is Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada is saying this is Krishna consciousness. Even though Krishna said to kill Ashwatthama, he could have executed it, but he carefully analyzed the real consequences, the real need of a Krishna, and he acted as a devotee of a Krishna that would actually pleases the Lord. So the devotee or the Vaishnava will always look for the opportunity. He take the choices, carefully consider the choices and take those that would please Lord Krishna or his spiritual masters in the line of Krishna. So this is the quality of a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Vaishnava is not a fool or a rascal. Exactly in Srila Prabhupada's language, he is saying that all the good qualities of a Krishna will be inherited by Krishna's devotees, gradually develop in Krishna's devotees. 26 qualities of Vaishnava we are familiar with. Those are called Vaikunta qualities. Okay, and tolerance, forbearing, merciful. And the Vaishnava have no enemies and they are very peaceful. So here Arjuna has passed the test of Krishna, by being merciful and forbearing his own suffering. Okay, and he in order to please the Lord. So the test was like Krishna says kill, and he carefully analyzed the cause and effect of the instructions and he acted as a Vaishnava. Okay, so this is very attracting to Krishna. So when Krishna, who is Bhakta Vatsala, when he is attracted, you know, Krishna says his name. He loves to be tagged with his devotee. Krishna, when he say Krishna, he may turn or he may not turn. Okay. But if we say Krishna by tagging his devotee in the front, that is where it attracts Krishna's attention. He would love to be called as Partha Saradi, Yashoda Nandana, Nanda Nandana. So those are like he acted for his devotees as a chariot driver. And he likes to himself to be called like Partha Saradi. And Yashoda Mai is a wonderful devotee. No one can match her devotion. And he would love to be called as Yashoda Nandana. So he gives importance to his devotees first. So these are the qualities, like how a Vaishnava should act by taking careful analysis of the instructions and looking into the cause and the effect that could potentially lead to the instructions. If there are any doubts, there is no harm in asking the person, like, or in our cases, there is we definitely have access to our mentors, spiritual masters, guru, sadhu, and shastra, and we can get clarified on the instructions. And if we are bumped with the effect, what could this happen? There's nothing wrong in asking and executing the instructions. We are very familiar, like my spiritual master talks a lot from Arjuna moments. So Arjuna in the battlefield, he had a lot of challenging moments that he has to face. But the purpose, he was contemplating on the purpose. The purpose is waiting to be fulfilled. So when we have a negative emotion, like instead of acting on the directions of the negative emotions, there is always a possibility to turn our attention, right? Turn our attention to away from the negative emotions. So we don't need to put our head on the negative emotions. Rather, we have the choices to or train our consciousness. Train our consciousness to turn away from the negative emotion. So that's the first step. And to put our consciousness towards the absolute truth. This is what Srila Prabhupada call as watering the root. So when we turn away from the negative emotion and put our attention towards the absolute truth, or put towards the Lord, we are consciously praying, or we are saying that I need help. Okay. When you say that I need help, Krishna's protection is always there. And Krishna's protection, you can see the Krishna's protection, though the circumstances cannot be changed. If you are facing some very challenging situation, and that's creating some negative emotions, the circumstances cannot be changed, but our focus can be changed from the negative emotions towards Krishna's protection. And that is our purpose. That is our purpose. Krishna, the threshold here, what Srila Prabhupada is saying, Krishna never put us in some sort of challenges or obstacles that we cannot handle. When Krishna is giving test to Arjuna, Arjuna is a very close associate. Their friendship, their loving relationship is more exalted. Okay, compared compared to my relationship with Krishna. So the threshold here is Krishna will never put any sort of challenging circumstances or obstacles that we cannot handle. So Krishna is giving those things in our life for us to be purified and for us to move one step even more closer towards Him. So it is all intended design of a Krishna in our life. So it is because we have the tendency to enjoy this material world. That tendency, like whatever that circumstances that we are facing is all like a medicines to cure those tendency. So the root cause of the suffering is the tendency to enjoy on my own. So that is why Krishna is putting into these sort of circumstances and the test for us to pass while we are living. And the purpose, what Krishna is saying, Krishna, the purpose is to go back to Krishna. Mam yekam sharanam prabhati. So we have to take shelter. How we take shelter? Like it's not that, okay, Krishna, I take a 20% of shelter to you and 20% on my 401k plan. We cannot divide, in that logic. So Krishna says, you have to take 100% shelter on me with undivided attention. We have to have the affirmative faith that I have no other shelter other than Krishna. That is the purpose. Mam ekam. So, Mam Ekam Sharanam. So, how we take that? This is through the sadhana bhakti. Why the sadhana bhakti? And our acharyas also say that chanting that we received through the instructions or the mercy of our spiritual master is my only sadhana and sadhya. Sadhana is the practice and sadhya is my living. I don't have any other desire, or I don't want to have a deviation from these two, sadhana or the sadhya, towards my chanting, which is the only way for me to put my head on the lotus feet of Krishna. Otherwise, my head will turn towards the circumstances that could lead to negative emotions. But on putting the head on the lotus feet of a Krishna with undivided attention, through the process of sadhana bhakti, that is my living. And contemporarily, wise persons. So who we consider like wise person. I mean, like we are. I mean, I shouldn't say like, but many of them will say that Einstein, who is a who is a wise person, but he says that a wise person will not look into a solution in the same place that causes the problem. So that is a thing we should not be looking. When we have some problem, we should turn our attention from the problem, away from the problem, and put it into the wise solution which we have learned from our acharyas, our spiritual masters, that is coming in a disciplic successions without any mix. So we have to take that instruction seriously and to put on sadhana and sadhya. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha. One can be a jita, one can conquer the modes of material nature, okay, through the process of devotional service. This is my firm and statement that Srila Prabhupada shares. How we navigate our challenges, this material world is fully with a lot of anxiety, fear, challenges around us. So how we navigate, because modes of material nature is operating, and we may put our heads on into the modes of material nature, but how we circumvent this situation is by Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga. By the process of devotional service, we can overcome these challenges. One time in my life, a few years ago, I was living in Boston by myself. My family was here in Naperville. I had a very challenging situation and I don't know what to do. I called my mentor and we were doing an exercise. He said, like, okay, fine, let's see what Krishna has to say. He asked me to open a random page in Bhagavad Gita. So it's like playing a book cricket. We are familiar by playing book cricket. We open some random page, some numbers will come. We take that as you hit on the bat and then the score. It could be even 0 or it could be 4 or 6. Okay. So what I received is verse number 715, which is like exactly for my for the it's a solution for the challenge that I was going through. So that's how Krishna will reveal, like when you try to put your attention from the modes of nature towards devotional service. So you will definitely get some clarity. It and what how we get how can we be unaffected by the modes of nature? Like it is like the sun reflected on the water. The analogy what Srila Prabhupada is saying, the sun's reflection is seen on the water, okay, and the water is influenced by the force of wind. Because of the wind, it's shaky and it's moving from one place to other, but it does not affect the sun because the sun is millions of miles away from the water. Okay, just because the water is moving or water is being influenced by the force of a wind, nothing happens to the sun. Similarly, we can be remained unaffected, but for that we need the strength from the devotional services. Bhakti yoga pravojitaha. So we need to be a conqueror of the material nature that is influencing on us constantly. And one of my favorite words is like 11:32-37 in Srimad Bhagavatam, which talks about the fear. Bhayam was fear arises when a living entity is very attached and misidentifies himself as a material body, because the absorption is in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When a living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets its own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency of illusion called Maya. Therefore, the intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as a worshipable deity as his very life and soul. So, here we are as a conditioned living entities, we have subjected to 4 defects, and when we are absorbed in the illusionary or the external factors, like we tend to identify ourselves as a material body instead of our real constitutional position. So our real constitutional position is I am the servant of the servant. Jivera Surupaya Nityera Krishna Dasa. So when I forgot the forgetfulness, is also coming from Krishna based on my own desire, tendency. If I say I want to enjoy, Krishna says, okay, go ahead and enjoy. So we have to learn, and if still it's not coming, we are not taking the process seriously, right? So then it will we have to take the process of repeated birth and death to learn to do the same homework exercise again and again until we master from it. So therefore the intelligent person, the remedy is bhakti yoga, to take devotional service very seriously and under the instruction of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is an expansion of super soul. He is a living embodiment of a super soul, and he is there for, he has given us shelter. He has not given a shelter whimsically, he has given a shelter very seriously, and he is taking the responsibilities for our spiritual commitments. And because of us, we should not drain him, you know. So he is the living embodiment, and he is the expansion of the super soul, which is inside in this body, along with the living entity. So when we take the instruction of the spiritual master as a worshipable deity, and our instruction and the instruction as the life and soul, then we can take a serious progress, or we can try one better way in our spiritual sadhana. And obstacles, it doesn't mean that obstacle doesn't come. Obstacles will come, and we can take shelter and of Lord Nrsingadev, who is my favorite deity, Lakshmi Nrsingadev. And when we and for words, I take inspiration and chant the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam every day as a family. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I offer my respectful Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namastejaste Avirbhava Vajranaga Vajradamsa Karma Sayan Randaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuyishta Om Shram. So in these words, Lord Nrsingadeva's protection is very much uh, expanded, or very nicely glorified in Srimad Bhagavatam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord Nrsingadeva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle of existence in this material world. So sometimes, or many times, this the fear is a challenge. We are intimidated by external thing, what others will think. In quotes, what others will think is the root factor for the fear. Though we may say, like, I know I don't want to be like that, I wish I go closer to Krishna, but what others will think is the influential factor for us to do something, or to create fear in our decisions, in our choices. So we definitely need to be fearless. Abhayam means fearlessness. So when will the Lord bestow His mercy so that the fear factor is completely eradicated, the anxiety is eradicated? So in the Isho Upanishad, Mantra 10, it says, a person should not be the source of anxiety to others, and his thoughts in mind should not agitate others' mind. So we are living in this world in 2025, where we can see that a person who is agitating all over the world by tariffs and all those things. His decisions or his thing is creating, is a source of anxiety. So that is exactly the material world. There is no more evidence required for us to see how the material world is going to be deteriorated going further and down, right, as it ages. So we have to take the shelter, and the fearlessness is is very much needed. By taking the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam and taking the shelter of Krishna or Ramachandra, is going us to navigate in this material world. As Krishna says, as Srila Prabhupada says, the circumstances cannot be changed, but I have the option to take wise choices in those in that circumstances. So I can turn away my attention. Consciousness is all about attention. I know that I am here, whereas the table or the chair doesn't know it exists. That is consciousness. In these circumstances, I can do a conscious act. The conscious act in Arjuna moments like this is turning away the attention from that is creating a problem or a negative emotions towards a spiritual solution or shelter. Sri Ramachandra says that Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Raghavaya Mahatmane Nivedyatam Mam Shipram Vibhishanam Upastitam. So Vibhishana, he is approaching towards Ramachandra, and he is begging to each and every monkey, Nala, Neela, Ankada, all those monkeys. Oh, he is begging. What is he begging? He is saying that Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Raghavaya Mahatmane. The please, please be, please approach Sri Ramachandra and please convey this message. The Ramachandra's nature is Sarvaloka Sharanya. He is not for one family or one neighborhood. Okay. He is Sarvaloka Sharanyaya, all living entities. So he is including even that Ramachandra, who is a bestower of mercy to all living entities. He will also consider me the Rakshasa. But he's saying that please go faster. Shipra means faster. That this Vibhishana is waiting for your mercy. So he is requesting the monkeys who are serving in Sri Ramachandra's army, requesting them, please, please offer my request to Sri Ramachandra so that he can accept me. So this is how our mood should be, to navigate the fear and take shelter. So with this I end. And Ramachandra says that, even if Ravana comes and say that, Rama, I am yours. And again repeat, Sri Rama, I am yours. So, and he takes he takes a vow. What vow? He takes a vow that he gives his protection to that person who takes shelter, who is looking for shelter, and he says that I am yours. That for that he is taking, there is a difference between saying and taking a vow. Taking a vow is a very serious commitment. Sri Ramachandra is taking that serious commitment to give his protection. So these are confidence building assurance, okay, that are coming from the Lord Himself, that will help us. I don't have bhakti, but I have faith in the process. When Srila Prabhupada is saying that, please protect me from Maya, I have to constantly put my uttering, please protect me from the Maya, please somehow help me so that my process, the faith in my process is not destroyed. I have to take, so I had to take the shelter. Where we take the shelter? We have to take the shelter of the devotees of the devotees. Somehow or other, please engage me in the service of your devotees. When we aspire for that, and Krishna's protection and Krishna's personal intervention through spiritual masters or the senior Vaishnavas in our life will definitely manifest. Build the faith artificially, and that will grow and reap its fruits. Thank you very much for giving time to speak on my realization on the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada,
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. I could go on listening, Prabhu, from you this morning. That putting 20% faith on Krishna and 20% on 401k. That split, loyalties, my God, Krishna. I mean, really, I mean,
Yes, Mataji, like I am very used to,
mm,
like the it could be the circumstances could come from all direction, health,
mm,
wealth,
mm,
job, immigration.
mm.
So, like there are various channels that
Yeah.
it is. The first thing where put attention is put opening a browser, google.com, and see how can I mitigate this solution. So it's not undivided attention towards the lotus feet of the Lord, like so we are distributing where I
Yes.
can take shelter. So
Yes.
that's very selective attention, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying.
Yes. It's a complete surrender. And Krishna is the sole dependent.
Correct.
I mean, dependent solely on Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, and Guru's orders. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Arjuna, it's also to meditate deeply on the instructions of
Correct.
Gurudev and analyze what is going on. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept mine too. All glories to Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. Such a nice class. Yesterday, I actually went to see Mahavatar Narasimha.
Wow.
And last night with my son, I tried to pull Sandhya Mataji, but somehow the timing did not match. But at the end of the movie, my son was asking, how come Narsimhadev came to save Prahlad only and not all these other people that were suffering?
Yeah.
They show. So the same answer, exactly what you were talking about, the degree of surrender, right? And in the movie, it was so clearly, so nicely portrayed. I mean, the degree of surrender of Prahlad Maharaj, like any circumstance, anything. I mean, it was really, really nice, and I could relate to your class. Um, to that exact degree of surrender. And it's really amazing the fact that when you open the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam and how you get instructions directly from the
Yep. I
scriptures.
mean, it's not only as like a practicing or a mixed devotees, even like in Bhagavad Gita says, when Gandhi says, right, when I don't get a clarity, I open a page in Bhagavad Gita and gets clarity. Krishna is, it's not partial. Is just like a sun distributes sunshine to every part and part of the world, like,
Yeah.
so it's very inspiring.
Yes, true. Thank you.
Thank you very
I,
much.
I missed the movie yesterday. I very much wish to see it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You mean you can go for Malayalam version. I'm waiting for Tamil version to be here. We are waiting, so that way it will
Really?
be better if not,
Okay.
if not, lean on subtitles. Thank you very much for all giving your association. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. शील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की
Okay,
जय.
Chai.
Hare Krishna.